Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an insight into the mind of an iridescent player today with this Vault Hardpoint gameplay. We're going to be going through why I'm doing certain things, why I'm pushing certain areas, and why I'm, playing the way I am in this gameplay itself. Now, at the level, or at the time of this gameplay, I'm Diamond 3. I think this is early into Season 4 or something like that. And it's by no means a perfect gameplay, okay? I don't drop 70 limbs or anything like that because I didn't want it to be unachievable for everyone else. I feel like if I'm at least making some mistakes in this gameplay, you can learn from the mistakes I make in this video. And I think from an educational standpoint, not choosing a video where it's an absolute pub stomp on ranked play, I don't feel like that's going to be helpful. So this is a nice medium ground where I do play well. I think I'll get over a 2KD. And we win by 130-ish points, so it's still a really good example of a good video, where I'm going to give you guys nice ways in which I'm playing them out that you can hopefully replicate and see the logic as to why I'm doing certain things. Now, we've already seen a fairly substantial amount of this gameplay so far, and we're going to get straight into it. Now, if you want more content like this, you can check out the rest of the videos on this channel, or you can sub to see more of this sort of content going into Black Ops 6. And obviously, when Black Ops 7 comes out, it's going to be nothing but pure tips and tricks. So, kicking it off, P1's coming to an end, and we've got good spawns for P2. Okay, so now my job in here, at this point here, is thinking, right, let me just get the cuts from P1 to P2, making sure they can't get easy access going from one hard point to the other. Now, I do manage to kill this enemy in the back. I try and play my life a little bit here as much as I can. Unfortunately, died this play because double chow is what it is, but that's a nice spot you can hold on Vault if you want to hold that P2 spawn. Now, my teammates are doing a nice job at holding the hill, and because I spawned so far out, that tells me the enemies are coming from both the palm tree side and the back of the objective. So whilst the hill is white, I'm not in any keen urge to push it. I was sort of trying to bait the hill out from the enemies there, try and do what I can, support the time, jump on it, and unfortunately we do get cut off from a guy top lorry. Now, I'm only duo queuing in this gameplay, so it's not like we've got full control. It's not easy as it could be if we were in a 4-stack, but we still make good use of the teamwork. At least I'm playing with one other player, and we do a decent amount of job just to, as I say, win the match by a certain amount of distance. Now, it's been a bit of a scrappy P2. Nothing's quite perfect. When you're duo queuing or solo queuing or even trio queuing, you've got to really play with the team and just get used to how they perform and how you play with each other. So that's sort of where the difficulty early on comes in, but we do get better gameplay. I promise it's not all this crap. Going into P3, we do have a little bit of a lead. And my job here as an AR player is to make sure that we just keep the hill white and keep the spawns at least. Okay, we want to keep these spawns because P4 isn't an insanely easy hill to hold. I'm making sure enemies can't get through easily at all here. I do notice there was an enemy on the radar who was in middle, who now I know to be in Vault. Try and pick up the player who was palms, do a good job, allow my teammates to get on the hill. And it's just about clearing this area of the map. It's making sure that my teammates can access the hill, or at least I can access the hill without having them to worry about anything else. Now, my teammates done a really good job of picking up middle for me, meaning that my main focus, and again, I can see that using the minimap, my main focus only really has to be on this front side of the objective. I managed to get a kill to deter the push, but unfortunately I do get taken out. Now, I spotted in the kill cam that an enemy was passing through the left-hand side here, so I'm playing a little bit cautious. Do spot them as I go to recover that, which is why it's so important to watch your kill cams, because you get so much free information from watching it. I end up picking that guy off. Now, if I hadn't watched the kill cam, may have been a little bit of a different situation. They may have got through the leak. I may have, tried to rotate to P4 and lost because I didn't know they were there. And yeah, I'm actually quite lucky here because my teammate who I am communicating with is top art. So they can see every single player who crosses from art through to P4. And yes, I have an AR. Yes, I probably should be outside of the hill, but because I'm in the best position to do so, I am jumping on the objective here. Just because you have a certain gun, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be in a certain situation. Now, I'm using my compass at the very top of the screen there to determine where enemies are likely to be coming from. And this is a nice off angle. I know my teammates had the right hand side, so all I really need to watch is the left, which is why all I needed to do was preempt that door, because I knew my teammates had certain coverage. Now, there's a lot of information I'm getting from the minimap here, not just where the enemies are, but from where my teammates are. It allowed me to just focus in on that left hand side door there rather than worry about the right, because I knew my teammates already had that, so I just needed to trust them. Moving into P1, again, they've given up all P1 control here. I think they're playing around the pool sort of side area. I know my teammates pushed up quite heavily through towards gold. I get shit on there by a sub, which is yeah, it is what it is. I think this is, as I say, one of the early games on this season, so it wasn't exactly crazy warm. clear out this right-hand side here for my teammates. I did see a red dot on the left-hand side as I spawned in, so I was looking for that kill instantly afterwards. And I'm just trying to play my life here. P2 is up. They're going to be knowing that I'm here. A lot of their focus is going to be trying to clear me out over trying to get the scrap time at P1, sorry. So P1's coming to an end. I can communicate to my whole team here, or at least I'm trying to communicate to my whole team here that I've got this right-hand side. They don't need to worry about anything else apart from the left and the middle routes. To get to P2. Now it's just about cutting them up. It's eliminating and trying to narrow in the focus of the rest of my team so that we can worry about what actually matters. And from this position, I can go from just watching the right-hand side to watching the entire cut out of P1. I thought I saw an enemy in there, but I was obviously wrong because no one showed themselves. Unfortunately, our teammate does die off time, but it doesn't mean that I can't be impactful here. Try and play my life, try and get as much damage as I can out, but hey, it wasn't to be. Now, I did think that guy's centering was really weird. I thought he may have been cheating because of how perfect that centering was, but we won by 130, so he must have just had good center. It must have been legit, so it is what it is. But PC lobbies, you never know. So before trying to just run aimlessly into that hardpoint, which is what I probably could have done there, which some of you may have done there, I knew that the enemies would have been spawning palms because that's the primary spawn that isn't in the back of P2, so I needed to check that before opening myself up to that gunfight. We managed to get the spawns. I'm just getting, a few seconds left to scrap time. Unfortunately, died to the guy on the tree. My teammate gets the kill, and we're still here. Now, unfortunately for the enemy team, fortunately for me, I managed to spawn right in the back of the new objective here. I don't know why they left it open. We managed to just get quite a lucky spawn. And again, I'm just trying to play my life. We know there's someone on my left in art. I'm here with my team. My teammate has just spawned in next to me, so I know now that, it's relatively clear. I can progress. I don't need to worry about that person in art. The person we've killed must have been that player. And again, I'm just making sure they can't get through the lane. So I've got so many of my team focused on the left. It's my job to make sure that something else is covered, okay? I don't need to be there with my teammates. I can guarantee that my teammates aren't going to die from middle by being in this position. So that's exactly why I'm here, trying to be really annoying, trying to get a couple kills, trying to kill this player before I move out, because I'm very much concerned that the first player I saw might be going to catwalk, and that's them right there. So repositioning there and trying to cut off the player who I knew must have maybe got away has meant that we've now got a solid rotation into the new objective here. So running out of ammo, I decide to pick up a new gun. Enemy literally walks into my sights there, so yeah, thank you very much for that. Again, trying to hit those wall bangs because I know where the enemy was, and you can wall bang them windows relatively easily. Obviously, I don't hit them, but yeah, you never know. And the two spawn points, the main spawn points here are, or three. You've got one in the back, one at poolside, and one in the middle. Because my teammate's located towards in the middle area, I knew they were sort of coming from that pool region. And now it's all about putting that pressure on. So we've got a decent amount of map control here. I'm concerned they could have spawned in the back, so I am watching that. But from this position, I've got the whole of middle. They can't come through line behind me. They can't come through this the middle lights area, so they had to be coming from pool. Now, I did play that slightly wrong. I probably should have not pushed down the stairs. I probably should have played around the square area, like the bottom of the catwalk. And now I'm just trying to relocate myself backwards. We're playing this spawn really well here. I'm trying to hard block to make sure that they do spawn in the back of the old objective, meaning that we get a nice, easy rotation to P1. Unfortunately, my teammate gets picked off and I get shot before I can even react. And then, I try and turn on the guy. Unfortunately, get shot on myself. Now, there are windows above P1, so whenever an enemy is on it, or you fear that they might be on it soon, and you've got a frag grenade, you can throw a frag grenade there. And again, I'm just trying to play my life, so I did die in that situation. But yeah, as you can see here, it's just about trying to clear that kill, trying to do as much damage as you can to allow the teammates who have more further pushed up the map to do their damage. Instead of shooting there, I decided to try and get a little bit of a pinch up here. The teammates have spawned gold, so it tells me that it should be relatively free. Unfortunately, I do get picked up from two players there. And again, watching the kill cam, I noticed that a player's pushed around the bottom of the catwalk and now into the spawn, which I would have known by spawning in there anyway. Spawning in P4 tells you the enemies are the other side and more positioned towards the gold side than the right. Now, that player from pool I just picked up because I saw them go down the vault, so that's a relatively easy pickup from the and I noticed my teammates now in the back of the old hill, back in the new hill. So I know, because I'm pool, the enemies must all spawn like back lion area near the statue. So I'm easily, I'm easy getting these two kills. My teammate gets another. That's 4 down. I'm looking at my players position on the map, I see that they're in the block spot. So now I know the enemies are going to continue to spawn at that back statue. So I'm just waiting for them to push the objective. Again, cutting them off, being between the objective and where they're spawning. And I'm doing a relatively decent job at that. Now, my teammate leaves the block spot and the other teammate spawns out, so I know they're all sort of in the back now. So I'm here just trying to do as much damage as possible, try and be a difficult kill. There's only 20 seconds left, and because we're so far ahead, we only need 3 seconds. I'm not too worried about this. I'm 38-17 at this point. I pretty much can guarantee we're going to win the game here, so I start to play a little bit more recklessly. So yeah, it's just about being annoying. If we can put as much pressure on, because we're so late into the game, and because we need so little points to win, the enemy's focus has got to be on the new objective, or on the old objective. They've got to do something, and it's meant that we're able to get on P3 relatively easy. So there's a few silly deaths there where I do die just from overchalling or being not taking the correct route. But I hope this video has given you guys a lot to learn from. I hope this has helped. If there's any play that I do make in this that you want me to break down further, if I can do, I'll do it in the comments. If not, I'll make a little bit of a YouTube short to break it down as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and most of all, I hope you learned something. That'll do from me. See you in the next one. Ciao for now.